Hello, my loyal listeners. Welcome back to another episode of Waxing with Wade. Some of you hopefully noticed that I took a couple of weeks off. I said I'd be back for a Halloween episode a week later, and I was not. I had a couple of trips the last 2 weeks. I had house guests. You know, when you don't have your own studio and you're just using part of the dining room, living room, you can't exactly tell a house guest, hey, mute the television over there for 15 minutes. I'm filming over here. So anyway, I finally had a chance to sit down and do this. I've really been looking forward to it. Finishing my 3 parts. What? Yes, you can unmute the TV in a few minutes when I finish. Sorry, that was my dog Nora. Okay, so 3rd part, trilogy of Alice Cooper album packaging. This is going to be episode 9 of Waxing with Wade. We are going to talk about Billion Dollar Babies from 1973 and Muscle of Love from 1974. Billion Dollar Babies has the coolest stuff in it ever. It's in the rock and roll vinyl packaging Hall of Fame. It's just snakeskin on the front and the back with like a gold seal and the baby and makeup. But inside, oh, I pulled it out. I forgot. Inside, it opens up this way, just the opposite color. These are trading cards, and they're actually perforated. It's intended for you to punch them out, and behind them are the liner notes of the album. I think you can see in there. And that's why this is torn from me and other people looking in there at the liner notes and not wanting to take those cards out of there. But it came with this stuck in the little pouch here on the side. It comes with this $1 billion bill. That's awesome, like a little poster, all kinds of funny stuff on it. And then the sleeve for this album has the lyrics on one side, and on the other side, this great picture of the band with a real baby with Alice Cooper makeup on, which reminds me of the little story when I took my babies, my 2 daughters, Catherine and Maddie, and they were 12 and 9 at the time. Their mother was out of town on business, and the 3 of us went to see Alice Cooper at the Big Spring Jam in Huntsville, Alabama. It was in '03. Catherine was 12, Maddie was 9. We all had the Alice Cooper makeup on. We put it on each other in the car before we went in. Had a ball, crowd loved us, loved the show. They had a big kick out of it. Sadly, we have 0 photos from that night. That kills me. Didn't even think to bring a camera. That was before the cell phone camera days. Anyway, I'm going to spotlight on this album, which has 3 big hits on it, $1 Billion Babies. The title cut, which I'm going to play some of, and then it also has No More Mr. Nice Guy and Elected on this album. And it's regarded as one of his top albums. It's one of his biggest sellers. All right, $1 Billion Babies features British pop rock singer Donovan in one of the, for me, great duets of all time in rock and roll. You're going to hear their voices alternate in the first verse, and you're going to hear them alternate, or actually you're going to hear one over the other. One's singing and one's talking the same time in the chorus, and I'm going to play it again where they switch and the other's singing and the other's talking. It's really cool. You probably heard this song. You might not have thought that much about it, but it's a great, catchy rocker. I think it probably should have been a bigger hit than it was, if you ask me.
$1 billion baby.
guitar there too. Now a little bit further here they switched. That time Donovan was talking, Alice was singing. I've got them one in each speaker split. I could hear it very well. I don't know if that it may be a little harder for you to hear, but listen closely, you'll hear both their voices.
While the moon is rising in the sky. If I'm too rough, tell me. I'm so scared to hold the hair in my hands.
Great drum. Yes, what a fabulous song. And hopefully you can hear both of them together. Donovan's the one with the British accent that doesn't sound like a demon. Okay, so moving on. I meant to switch the records, actually not just flip it. Muscle of Love. Muscle of Love came in this record jacket, believe it or not. Yes, it looks like a cardboard box because it is a cardboard box, just like the kind that Amazon still sends out if you order a record online. Like do not bend, fragile, this stain, before you think I've stained this somehow, that's made onto it. I thought for years I had possibly gotten a damaged one or damaged it myself, but no, that's the way the record's made to look like a stained cardboard box. Okay, and inside, it opens just like you'd think, like an Amazon thin box. Inside this one, we got the sleeve, which has a great photo of the band dressed as sailors, like on leave, about to go and enjoy some live nude wrestling. Sounds great. Spend some money, do some drinking. This is the after picture. You can see that it didn't work out quite like they thought it did. Seems that the live nude wrestling was with a gorilla. Who'd have thunk? Anyway, this also comes with this, which I thought it was just a poster, but it's always looked weird to me because it's upside down writing with the photos. And you can see on one side you got, they're on KP duty for the shenanigans and peeling potatoes, and then over here on the other side you got a seal for the Institute of Nude Wrestling. Cast of characters, you got the 5 band members, someone else snuck on there too. And then it's got folding instructions. And for years I could not figure out what this is. But it's made to be a book jacket. You fold it a certain way, you cover your class book. If you're in high school and you want to cover up your history book with your Alice Cooper artwork, you know, and that's your favorite band, that's what you do. So very clever. There's liner notes at the bottom down over here about who played and sang on the record. And just of note, some famous people who sang background vocals on this album that you might not expect to be singing with Alice Cooper. First we had Liza Minnelli. Also we had LaBelle, the Pointer Sisters, and Ronnie Spector. All sang background vocals, and it just worked beautifully on this record. Now, I'm only going to play one song on here. It's called The Man with the Golden Gun. Coincidentally, this album's from 1974. There was a James Bond film that year, The Man with the Golden Gun. The band intended for this to be the theme song for the film. They approached the producers. They said they wanted to be in the running. The producers wanted to hear it. But when they delivered this, which they were really proud of, and you're about to see why. I'm knocked out by this song. It just escaped me for years. It was on here. I didn't pay it that much attention until I was reading this little story about how they were trying to make this the theme song for the Bond film. When they submitted it, they were told that just a day earlier they had, after hearing it once, signed Lulu, a British pop singer, and her song to be the theme song, and which it was. I do challenge you to compare it to this and see which you think would be better. See if you agree with Christopher Lee, who played the villain. The actor Christopher Lee played the villain in The Man with the Golden Gun, and he was, as I mentioned in a previous episode, a good friend of Alice Cooper's. He said it was really a shame that this was not the theme song, that it was too late or that they went in another direction, because and he's right. This song is fabulous. You're about to hear 3 parts of it: the beginning, the middle, and the end. And think about the film, the opening credits to a Bond movie, and by the end of it, it's perfect, I think. Okay, here we go. The Man with the Golden Gun. Man, I'm losing light in here. I can't see my grooves. Whoops. Oh no, here it is. Starts, and then by the time you get to the middle of it, Hollywood. Part right here. The horns come in. Just to hit the ending of this song is so perfect. Picture the credits closing out right as the jolt of this last note of this last part of the song, and it's just it'd be perfect for the opening of the film. Fade into film. Gosh, I hate they missed out on that. I really do. Anyway, thank you for listening and watching, and I hope you enjoyed the things I passed on, and hope you'll tune in next week. Don't know what I'm going to be presenting, but I will be back next week with another episode of Waxing with Wade.